Well, it's 10 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday, whatever day today is, the 18th, and I'm like 4 hours away from my delivery, and it's sunny out, and there's a truck wash, so I'm gonna get her done. Well, I'm at the A Blue Beacon. There's it's a double bay, so my weight should be less than normal. The load's still looking good. And my left knee is kind of tight as usual. Everything's looking stabilized. Everything's behaving. The sun is bright. Yeah, so far so good. I'll get I mean, really my truck is fairly clean, but I mean, I'm in the window to where I can get a truck wash. I'm disappointed that my forward-facing camera was not operational today. It's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's going through this mode of turning on for like 5 seconds, cycling through the dates and times, and then the screen comes on and then it cuts back out. But I really could have used it today because on I-465 North, near Indianapolis, I think this city is. There was a big truck pickup fire on the center lane divider around mile marker 41 maybe. It may have been less than that. Between mile marker 35 and 40, there was a vehicle fire, and it was in flames. So that would have been a good one to pull off the video camera if it was working. But I've got things in the works to fix that for future sightings of Bigfoot. There's a Flying J here. Right now I'm on schedule to arrive at 12:41 in the afternoon, but my specific delivery appointment time is not until 3:30. So I've got like a 3-hour window. So I figured this opportunity right here, you know, gives me probably the best opportunity to take a break, do a load check, and get my truck washed. And I'm still going to arrive there early, so hopefully they take me. But you know, I've done this before where I show up, and if they don't take me, then I just wait until my appointment time. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting because today is Thursday. It'll be interesting to see what load I get next, if they're going to have me deliver and pick up tomorrow as well. So it all depends on where I'm picking up and where they want this thing dropped off. So another beautiful day in the trucking world, if you like Indiana. I'm not a fan of Indiana because every time I get close to drive in or get near this state, I get all kinds of warnings on my Qualcomm. Be careful. There's a truck pulling in. I think this is a ticket-giving state. I don't know if it's another source of revenue for their government entities, but yeah, I can go on and on about that kind of thing, and I don't want to, so I won't. So that truck pulled in. There's one truck ahead of me that'll probably pull into right behind where that truck pulled into, or he'll sit there and wait. I don't know why, because I mean they take the same time to wash either side, but we'll see what happens. There's nobody behind me waiting. This is actually a pretty good deal, because sometimes you pull into these and they've just got one bay washing one truck at a time, and those wait times can be pretty long. but these go pretty quick. So until we see what happens, man, I wish my camera was working, because I'm going to be going through Kentucky and Tennessee, and they got some great mountains. When I was in Wisconsin, I went through some areas that had some awesome rock formations with trees all over it, and I couldn't capture it. It's disappointing. Oh well. So I am parked. It's like 6:30. I'm parked 10 minutes from where I'm picking up tomorrow morning. And Jackson, Tennessee, getting my regular steel load out of there, which is a bunch of angle iron, channel, that I get to wrap with chains and tarp, all kinds of special business at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it means I don't have to get up really early, and it's only 4 hours, well, I'll say in trucker world, 5 hours away from my house. I am at a Love's, exit 87 off of I-40, and I'm going to use some shower credit, and I am 100 gallons away from platinum status, which I think gives me free showers all month next month, and free sodas every time I go in. I think one a day maximum. There's an interesting tarp job. That must take some extra time, but it looks just like the Coil. I think I saw him earlier on the road. What else to cover? Oh, it is Father's Day this weekend on Sunday. And that reminds me I want to check something. I did have my truck washed. I don't know, but then I ended up going through rain. Oh. Here I am, parked like a reefer driver. And, you know, it's nothing worse than getting out of your truck and it smelling like a porta potty. There's got to be some lazy people that park here, pee outside their truck when the Love's is right there on the other side of those fuel islands. So quite nasty smelling outside right now. Let me check my messages. I did send a message earlier because
messaging.
Sorry. Messaging. Okay, so I'm learning something about Maverick's 10 o'clock rule, because with it, I am like 4.5, 5 hours away from the delivery of this particular product on Monday. So, I mean, I can get there before the 10 o'clock Maverick rule if I get up really early. I mean, I think I'll determine it more when I get to the Madison yard to see how much time I have left to get to the consignee. But mentally, I'm thinking I'd have to get up at 4 a.m. to get there by 10 if I wanted to leave on Monday. I could leave on Sunday, which is what I would typically do in order to ensure I make it by 10 on Monday. But it's Father's Day, and I don't necessarily want to leave on Father's Day because, you know, I have 6 kids, so they like me to hang around on special occasions. And this load delivers on the 22nd, which I think is Monday, 19. Yeah, Monday between, I have a window of 8 to 12, but Maverick has a rule of 10 for Monday or Monday deliveries. And that's fine. That's what I signed up for. But I did put in a request to see, you know, is it possible that this particular Sunday I can, instead of, I guess what I did was ask for permission not to deliver by 10 But possibly he'd get there by 11 and then still be okay, because I didn't want to, I don't like getting in trouble. And my fleet manager did reply, which was good because I thought I was getting late. It was like 4 o'clock. And apparently the 10 o'clock rule still stands. I guess the way to look at it is I could deliver after 10, but it would be, I mean, it wouldn't look good because that's the rule. But I guess the consequence was explained in her response, which I am grateful for because now I kind of understand. So if I decide to deliver after 10 o'clock, the 10 o'clock rule, and I get stuck out for the weekend, I will not qualify for weekend pay if the load is less than 800 miles. So I don't want to risk that. So I'll have to take a look, and it's good information to know. And I'm not saying it's negative or positive, because I knew this when I came to work for Maverick, and so I can't say, oh man, I hate this, because I really don't. I personally don't understand why they have the rule. It's never been really explained, but I've accepted that this is an existing rule, kind of like, you can't drive until you're 16 or whatnot. I'm sure there's reasons behind age limits for the things that we do, like, hey, I can go to war and die for my country at 18, but apparently you can't drink until you're 21. Hey, there's these rules, and I don't drink, so it doesn't bother me. So I just want to get across the impression that I'm not trying to whine about this or say it's a negative. I'm just kind of pointing out the fact that it exists for those that aren't aware of a consequence for any current Maverick drivers as to how that works. I was unaware of what could be the result if you don't make it by the Monday 10 o'clock rule. Now I know. So most likely I'll be leaving either in the evening Sunday to get a couple hours closer, so I don't have to quite get up early and make it by the 10 o'clock appointment time. Or I'll bite the bullet so I can have my evening meal that my wife has planned and get up early Monday, which isn't really necessarily a big deal because I'm good about, with the career I had in the Air Force, you would have to plan your sleep pattern based on when your takeoff time was. And a lot of times we'd be leaving at night because the places we fly into, you don't want the enemy to see you and shoot you down. So when most people are sleeping, I'm getting ready to take off on an airplane. And so what I would do is switch my sleep pattern, and it, for me, it's a fairly, I guess, easy process in the sense that I can go to sleep and then get up when I need to. But sometimes if I push it to where I stay up later than what I should, if I don't get my 8 hours, that's when I feel tired. So I figure I'll have my meal, get my 8 hours, and then get up when I need to make it there by 10 and leave on Monday. And of course my day will end really soon on Monday. So, and I won't be getting up again until Tuesday morning, 5 or 6 a.m. So it'll all work out, I think. So this is going to be, I think, a great weekend. I mean, it's really working out, and I feel bad for anybody that didn't, for the other drivers that are going to be stuck out over this weekend, Father's Day, because I mean, here you are, if you're a father, working as a truck driver for your family, and the one day that they show your appreciation to you, or well, they probably show your appreciation a lot, many other times, but here's a day set aside that everybody can join together in this kind of celebration. So I feel for all the truck drivers out there that may not make it home this weekend. So to you guys, I say happy Father's Day. And now it's time to go take a shower. Well, I'm all clean and refreshed, and I even cleaned up for my wife. She does not like the scruff. As I was being pelted in the shower, I remembered something. When I unloaded this coil, it was dry. Their procedure was you take off your tarp and all the chains except for 2, and then you pull indoors and they unload you. And while all your stuff's sitting on the deck, you pull out of the facility to an open area, and then you can put away your chains and binders and tarps and stuff. So that's what I did. And it started pouring down rain. At first it was just a few sprinkles as I was folding up my canvas tarp. And then as I was on the back of the deck gathering up chains and putting them away, it began to the point where it was a downpour. And I saw the guys that were cutting the grass running for their trucks, and here I was putting my stuff away. So I thought for a second, I was like, I can go get my rain gear on. But I thought, nah. So I've got a pile of wet clothes in the front of my truck. Well, it's kind of dry now. And it'll all go home tomorrow and get washed, so it's not a big deal. But I was just, that came to mind. I got caught in the rain today. And another thing that I thought of as I came out. I think one of the biggest banes of truck drivers, one of the banes we have is other truck drivers. There, see that truck? He was in the fuel island. And the funny thing is he was in the fuel island when I walked in to go take a shower. So I took my shower, walked over to Hardee's, got myself a sandwich. Got the old big chicken El Diablo, which I'd never had before. And I'll be paying for that tomorrow. It'll probably take me 6 hours to go 4. But anyway, I went over to Hardee's and got my sandwich, and was coming out to the truck. So here I had showered, got food, I got a drink, and walked out to my truck, and that truck was still in the fuel island. And I know he didn't maybe he had an engine issue. But those are the kind of things that I think those are the difficult things truck drivers face, is other truck drivers. Yeah, you have to deal with some of the hazards on the road with unconcerned motorists. But it's funny, the things that you see, especially at truck stops, fueling, there is some inconsiderate people when it comes to daily activities, and I guess you find that in all professions. But I mean, we all face the same issues being truck drivers, so I could only assume that he would not appreciate somebody taking up the fuel island for 45 minutes. But I know there's people out there that they'll do their 30-minute break at a fuel island. I mean, I feel bad if I take over 11 minutes to fuel, because I'm pretty quick. I fuel, wash my windows, and if I have to, I throw in def. And I think the longest I've ever taken is 13 minutes. It's fine. I mean, look at this, that van driver. They're trying to park while other trucks pull into fuel. And I don't know if that, I mean, that truck may not be aware, but I pulled through to get into this spot. So if that spot's open, he could have drove around to the backside and just pulled straight through. So, but it's interesting. There's a lot of interesting things you see, experience, and come in contact with when you're doing this job. Yeah, I think that's it for today, because tomorrow's Friday, and I promise I will try to make tomorrow longer than the 30-second steel load, because tomorrow's Friday and I'm trying to get home. So any filming I stop and do is taking time away from my family, so they usually win. But I'll make something happen.